Rap is one type of poetry.
According to India, hip hop is honey stick, and it really isn't.
Kind of sur lay tal kind of thing. It's just not like that. It's not restricted to that.
Putting on your swag and just keep on, uttering cool words.
Like rappers like JC, G-Eazy,
Eminem.
Rapping, also known as MCing, refers to spoken or chanted rhyming lyrics. It can be delivered over a beat or without accompaniment. It is often associated with and a primary ingredient of hip-hop music, but the origins of the phenomenon can be said to predate hip-hop culture by centuries. In the 1970s, an underground urban movement known as hip-hop began to develop in the South Bronx in New York City, a notorious border with serious levels of unemployment, drug addiction, and violent crimes.
It started with New York, and then it started spreading like wildfire. But at one point, hip hop was in a place where everybody wanted to put money in hip hop in US. That's how we want to see it happening in India.
The youth of South Bronx realized that the music around them was in contradiction to their lifestyles. This gave rise to a new form of movement as a medium of self-expression, which later came to be known as hip-hop.
Tupac or Snoop Dogg or Rakim, all these guys go back in history. They have done something different. They have created new levels in hip hop, in rap. The new rhyming skills, the different way, the different flows, the different beats that they got. Like Dre has always been a game changer.
Say what you say, but give me that bomb beat from Drake. Let me serenade the streets of LA, from Oakland to Sac.
When people ask me about the history of, how rap has become what it is today in India, the first recollection I have of rap is parody, funny kind of shit that came out in Bollywood that I saw on MTV and stuff. Devang Patel is one of the things that I recollect. But really, I think we only really got a taste of rap music in the late 90s or maybe early 2000s, when we didn't have to rely on Bollywood's version of rap or what they heard and then changed and made their own. But we got to hear what was really happening in the States, which is where rap originated. And I think once we got a taste of that, a lot of individuals, although it wasn't a big movement back then, a lot of individuals in pockets all over India began to take up rapping and try and make something organic, make something that was their own with the art form. And they looked at it, of course, back then as an art form and not as much as a culture. Although the swag or the style, the steez was evident. Like a lot of people, in fact, looked at the style first and then thought, okay, maybe now I have to even rap a little bit to look like a rapper. So, but that happened. But down the line, of course, I think 2004-05 is when Indian rappers really began to get serious with their lyrics, and that's when the underground movement, which I truly consider is where the true lyrical depth came out of, began springing up. We as Indians began rapping in our mother tongues really late, but now there's rappers doing Hindi, Marathi, Bengali, Tamil, Punjabi, everything. So the fact that India's population is so fragmented and not all of them grasp English or even just Hindi that well is kind of being tackled now, because each community has artists coming out of it.
It's basically just letting the world know who you are in a poetic manner. So that's what hip hop as a culture gives you. It encourages you to be yourself, and that's the most important part in hip hop as a culture. Because if you're trying to step into somebody else's shoe and representing somebody else's lifestyle, then you're not being honest to yourself.
Hip hop is also about creativity, so it's not just about stating facts. So being creative with this, being skillful with this, but at the same time representing for who you truly are. Because when you represent who you truly are, you're representing for a whole bunch of people. And to me, that's what hip hop is about: creativity and originality. But we as Indian hip hop artists always have to be aware of and take cognizance of is that we are not from New York. We are not from California. We are not from Atlanta. And I'm a kid from Bombay. I'm not going to talk about guns. I'm not going to talk about selling cocaine because I mean that's just some fantasy stuff to me.
Being a female rapper, I was welcomed by everybody because there's a lot of scarcity of female rappers in India. So yeah, it's like 1 in 50 rappers.
Soldier, I ain't Mrs. Smith. Do it big, I'm hip hop's monolith. Girls sell their souls for a cameo role, but I'm the type of chick that you can't ignore.
Misconceptions with rap. I don't even know where to begin. Every rapper in India is not a variant of Honey Singh. He does not represent who we are or what we do. He barely ever raps. He's a music producer who uses rap vocals once in a while on his songs. इसे कहते हैं hip hop is not hip hop.
इसे कहते हैं hip hop, बेटे इसे कहते हैं hip hop. $1 million, I don't give a damn. कुड़ियाँ शुड़ियाँ, I don't give a damn. बड़ी है सोच मेरी, बड़े हैं plans. जो कुछ भी हूँ आज, cause of my fans.
Another thing that really gets me aggravated is that people assume that rappers are just supposed to curse a lot because Honey Singh's first song, which was about parts of anatomy, became extremely popular, and that was one. Then there was Eminem, who didn't have the cleanest of discographies. To me, I'm one amongst a whole generation of Indian hip hop artists where our families are listening to what we do, and our families are middle class, they're educated. So they're middle class and they have values, and they're educated and they can understand what we're saying. So we can't get away with anything unless we're ready to get kicked out of the house. And I'm not, and a lot of us are not, because that brings me to the third misconception. I'm not ready to get kicked out of the house because I'm broke. And rappers can be broke. A lot of us are broke, but again, that's the ambition, to not be broke. To make that misconception a truth would be kind of nice.
I think one of the biggest misconceptions people have is that rap is something that only happens between a Bollywood song. Rap is not filler. It has its own identity.
They get to know I'm a rapper, they start asking me for party favors, and you know what I mean. I'm not a drug dealer. and rap is an art form. It's not a nicer way of saying that I sell coke or I sell weed. They don't really understand that what we do is poetry first and style and swag and bling later. For them, it's the appearance first and then the music, or then the art. Battles are coming to India now. Shouts out to Poetic Justice, shouts out to his crew elsewhere. And what they're doing is they're bringing the good of battles to India. A lot of battles in the West turned into talentless, just slugfest, and it didn't make sense to do that kind of stuff in India.
We actually met all the rappers from the city. We all came together. We started Cypher Mania. Cypher Mania was just like a rapping session, like a jam session. We had no place to do it, so we did it on the streets, literally on the streets. Bandra, Carter Road, maybe, or like Bandstand and stuff like that. It was fun. There were cops were involved in a couple of sessions, but we then decided to have a fixed place, which is the other Narli Bagh.
My name is the evil. After I'm done, they might make this illegal. I'm the social from birth. Disobeyed my teachers. I don't like you either, and I don't have a reason. It's Mumbai City. It's always questioning my destiny.
As the art form has developed, now Indian artists are a lot more in tune with the level of skill and the kind of skill that you need to really make it as a battler, even on the international scene. So, frankly, I see Indians battling, internationally in like 5 to 7 years. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Because musically, we are already at a level where we are on par with international artists. Maybe not the J's and M's, but we're not far. Aside from that, I see mainstream rap in India becoming a lot better. I don't think this Honey Singh thing is going to survive for long. It's a parody of itself. Let's be honest. It's not rap in the first place, but there's like we as Indian artists are beginning to figure out a way to make music which is true to ourselves, music which is creative, and music which is popular all at the same time, which is the winning formula.
As an artist, I get mixed responses. On stage, a hero. At home, this is nonsense. And I be sit and spit in a bunch of rhymes. And the stupid question gets me all the time. Excuse me, miss, I don't get what you're saying. But I keep nodding to the beat that is playing. No one cares about the rap I be slaying. All they want to see is the degrees I be claiming. This is stupid, the hypocrisy. See, there's a difference between you and me. For someone else, you be standing up and clapping. If your own child does it, all you say is stop it. And I'm sick of this चार लोगों की बातें किसी और के आग में आए घी डालने पढ़ के कौन सा हमें जाना है चांद पे सिर्फ हिप हॉप है दिल में और मंजिल है सामने.
Yo, what up, Jai Hind? I hope all of y'all go far, especially Deeksha, Tasneem, Tanya, and Omkar. See, I can rhyme words, string them all, make them sound good, but really, I'm just Indian. Don't really try and sound hood. I know y'all here doing this assignment on the culture, but y'all gotta understand one thing. We Indian, what about ours? You gotta keep ours in mind, probably get them intertwined. And when you come out, don't act like someone that you ain't when you spit these rhymes. Me, I'm just spitting my truth when I'm still in the booth. Let them all know that I'm sticking the truth into everybody that's listening to you. So when you come through to me, know you got good questions. My name is Omkar. Make sure you keep listening. Don't be stressing. Peace.